Hey guys, Marsing here bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we're going to be looking at the EZA for the INT Gohanks. Obviously we all know Gotenks, the fusion of Goten and Trunks. Gohanks is the fusion of Gohan and Trunks, and this is the Super Saiyan 3 version with their EZA, obviously full level 10 links. I wasn't too sure about these guys. There's the AGL Gotenks. We're not doing them together because whilst they have parts of their passive that seem like, you know, they're designed to kind of be run together, they help trigger parts of each other's passive. They also have this Super Saiyan 3 requirement, which it's not super important, we'll get into that, but like neither of them are slot 1 units, which means you could run them both on the team together, they would share a lot of links, but like realistically neither of them are going to be in slot 1, which means one of them would be floating. I think it just kind of depends on the situation and on the event that you're doing and whether enemies can have certain status effects, because Gohanks greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, does supreme damage and seals. So obviously if the enemy can be sealed, he could be quite useful. Gets attack and defense 150%. He gets an additional attack 150% when performing a super. Then he gets additional attack and defense 30% with each super attack performed, up to 150. Launches 2 additional super attacks, like just guaranteed, when there's another crossover ally attacking in the same turn, or when the target enemy is attack down or defense down. Now, this is good because he doesn't rely on the status effects as long as he has a crossover ally, but it means if you want to use him on a team with non-crossover units as well, like other Super Saiyan 3s or something, then as long as you can give the enemy attack or defense down, he's still going to be able to get those 2 additional supers. And then he gets a guaranteed crit when there's a Super Saiyan 3 ally in the same turn. So this is the thing I was saying, like, he has a Super Saiyan 3 ally in the turn restriction, but it's not necessarily like the be all and end all. Like, not having guaranteed crit is not the end of the world, although obviously it would help him to do extra damage. So we need to super attack 5 times in order to get his passive fully built up. It's a shame that this isn't attack and defense when performing a super, because I really don't think he would be that broken with having the defense. But I mean, I guess we'll see, right? Once his passive is fully built up, what does he look like, and would that 150% defense make him too good? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the answer is no, but we'll see. So none of these guys can be sealed, which is annoying. You can both be attack lowered though, so let's attack lower you, and then I guess we'll just go for Videl since she's the one that does the super every turn. So we'll just do this. Alright, so we'll see what we get here. So Dark Mask King obviously going to take a little bit of damage from the initial hits, then he's going to super and give us a heal. He's already got a 6.3 million attack. If we get a crit, pretty much is a full heal. It's a full heal anyway, so good old Dark Mask King. And then what are we going to get here from Gohanks? Bear in mind he gets a minimum of 3 supers a turn, so 7.5, and then we go into 9. Okay, so we should go over 10 mil with the 3rd one, and then of course he has the hidden potential possibility as well, which we don't get. So he does 3 supers, so we're 3 out of the 5. He was only at about, what was it, like 200k start of turn, so he's built up an extra 90% from the stacks, or from the like stacks of his passive, the 3 out of 5 attacks performed. Each super attack greatly raises defense, which is 50%. So I mean, he has potential to build up to a relatively decent amount, but how do I want to do this? Ideally I do want Pan like floated off sooner rather than later, but let's go ahead and do that, and then do that, because Videl can at least be stunned, so if she does somehow survive the turn, she's going to be have a decent chance of being stunned here, and then hopefully Pan can get a decent amount of dodges in the last spot and then be all good to go. Obviously she's here to provide support, want her on the team so that we can see the turn with Gohanks. But yeah, no Super Saiyan 3 ally for guaranteed crit, but like I said, I don't feel like that's super important. I mean, realistically, with the Super Saiyan 3 characters we have available, like, Xeno Goku is probably still somewhat runnable, because he can be okay defensively against some normals, because he has damage reduction, which is obviously always good and ages a lot better than units that just have raw defense. But It would be really nice if like they filled out more of the crossover stuff for this celebration this month, because I know a big Super EZA that we're all eagerly awaiting is the STR Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and if he got a Super EZA, then obviously him being a crossover unit and a Super Saiyan 3 could go in slot 1. That would be very, very useful for this Gohanks and the Gotenks as well. But yeah, Pan takes out Videl. Couple of dodges here, which means her defense is now going to be incredibly high, but she's just going to dodge all the rest of the attacks anyway. So let's see, what is he up to after 3 supers? And then remember, with Trunks we get Cold Judgment, so he's up to 376. Cold Judgment is another 25%. But this is the thing, right? So this is what I'm saying, he only gets 150% attack when performing a super. If he got 150% defense when performing a super, that would be putting him up to like 800k here after he super attacks. But he doesn't have any other defensive mechanics. So it's not like him going up to 800k defense after a super would be insanely busted or anything. So I'm a little bit disappointed as to why he's not getting the defense on super as well. But let's see what we get up to here. Obviously we need 2 more supers to fully max out his passive, and we're always going to get a minimum of 3 as long as we have the crossover allies anyway. That is one thing that is very good, right? Some of these other EZAs, some of the characters have an extra attack with a chance to become a super. This guy and the Gotenks just straight up get 2 additional supers with the crossover allies. So that does, even though we didn't get it last time, does of course very much increase the chance that they're going to get the hidden potential to activate as well. So up to 11.8. It's not bad. 4th one? Oh, additional normal. Okay. Okay, so we'll be able to see how he's looking next turn with the full build up. Because bear in mind, that was with Cold Judgment as well, which we're not going to have active like all the time. Wow, God Trunks not critting, despite all of that crit chance. Crit on the follow-up though, surely? No, great. Good times. Although there's another one. I mean, God Trunks can still do some decent stuff here. Like, he's definitely, I think, underwhelming compared to how crazy he could have been. But he should tank this okay, right? Yeah, that's good then at least. That's good. We'll take that for double digits. Okay. So yeah, we should be able to finish off this turn. Let's do that. So yeah, Trunks should be done here, and then we'll get to see what Vegex is looking like fully built up. Vegex, I mean Gohanks. Yeah, Vegex, Gohanks and Gotenks all work together relatively well because they're all doing different status effects. But obviously with these guys, they all started out in base, and then the Gotenks and Gohanks awakened into Super Saiyan 3, and Vegex awakened into like Super Saiyan 1. So they're obviously on a couple of extra category teams from when they first came out, but not the same ones, which is a bit of a shame. Alright, so that's Trunks done. Do some damage to Goten here. Pretty sure Goten gets loses his buff, some of his buffs when you take out Trunks as well. So alright, so let's see. Fully built up and support from Pan. 500k defense. Okay. So if he was getting 150% on super, he would be getting about 750k, which would is only going to put him up to 1.25. Each super attack gives him a greatly raise, and he's going to get a minimum of 3. That puts him up to, I mean, he could be getting up above 1.5 million, but that's just raw defense. So big super attacks from big bosses are still going to kill him. I really don't think he would have been that busted. Like, I don't think he's suddenly going to be like, oh, you know, this guy's the best EZA TUR, if they'd given him 150% attack and defense on super. Because as it stands currently, like, he doesn't get any defense on super apart from his super attack effect. So he's at 500k. He's going to super a minimum of 3 times, and get, what, anywhere between like 100 and 150k, maybe 200 at most from each of those supers. So at a push, he's at like 1 million defense, which is okay, and it means he's going to tank most normals. But I really don't understand why they couldn't have just given him the defense on super as well. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Dark Mask King has 623k defense on this turn, and guard, which is kind of crazy. Because bear in mind, of course, remember, Gohanks doesn't have any defensive capabilities. No guard, no damage reduction, no dodge. I mean, he's an int unit, so obviously he has a free level 5 dodge, but nothing, nothing particularly crazy. Okay, so you get the crit. So yeah, fully built up and support from Pan, 11.1. It's kind of funny actually, because when we tried these guys out against one of the Peppy Gal stages before they got their EZAs, because they were doing status effects, and we were talking about the fact they were going to get their EZAs soon. I was saying, like, imagine they get their EZAs and then they're dropping like triple 10 million attack stat turns, and that is basically what we got, but just defensively they're not quite as good as I maybe would have liked. So Goten is stunned here, so we can just finish him off nice and quick. Because yeah, I mean, defensively, tanking most normals in the game is one thing, but he's not going to be tanking big supers. And I guess I said the same thing in the Vegeks showcase, but with like the heroine battle, which just came out on Global, there is a lot of these fights where you can be doing the status effects. So if you want to use a heroes team, like, these guys can be really good. We've still got the Mai and the Bulma stages to do, which I'll probably try and get done on a stream sometime soon. But outside of that, like, you know, like if you go going up against like Goku and Frieza when that stage comes out, like, this guy is not going to be strong enough to be tanking their hits well, even their normals. And then with the damage he does, I mean, is getting up over like 11 million attack, but remember, you have to do like 10 million damage to them or you do no damage to them. So his attack stats can be decent though. But yeah, I'm not sure if how good he's going to be. I mean, we'll see here. Gohan's not the hardest hitting boss, obviously, but he is type disadvantage. So we're going to get our 3 supers here. I mean, the attack stat's relatively good. Right, this guy, if he was critting, would be doing good damage against Gohan. Obviously, type disadvantage is a real killer when it comes to, even if you're dropping a 12 million attack stat, you're not doing a lot of damage if you've got type disadvantage and you're not critting. But yeah, I mean, he seems overall, I don't know, I was a bit worried about the Super Saiyan 3s, and I think I was most worried about Vegeks. I've recorded his showcase already. I should hopefully be putting them up in the order I recorded them. So if you're watching them all and you're watching this one, you'll have seen the Vegeks one. But is he better than these guys? I don't know. Because like the Gotenks is very similar. Obviously, we'll do the showcase for Gotenks next. They have got very similar kits. Gotenks lowers attack on super though, which of course, if you are doing any of the events where the enemies can be attack lowered, the fact that he gets a minimum of 3 supers that are all lowering attack is obviously going to be very useful. And then his guaranteed crit is from if the enemy is sealed or stunned, which is not as easy. But I don't know, I'm a little bit unsure about some of these heroes EZAs from this year, but I think I went into these guys ones with quite low expectations. And I mean, his maximum defense is not great, but of course he's not a slot 1 unit, right? So with him supering a bare minimum of 3 times and greatly raising defense each time, like I say, when it comes to raw defense, oh, of course, Pan didn't dodge a super. Nice. Alright, well, I guess we got to see what we needed to see from Vegeks. I might literally, I say Vegeks, I keep saying Vegeks. I might just jump straight back into the same event and literally just put Gotenks on the team, and then we can see how they differ. But yeah, that was the INT Gohanks. I mean, he's an okay filler option, but with the new units coming out and how hopefully potentially good they're going to be, This guy very much just becomes a filler option on the team, maybe for some events where you can use the status effects. But other than that, like, he's an okay EZA, but he's not like scratching the top 10 EZA TUR list or anything like that. So let me know what you guys think of the INT Gohanks down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.